Hola, welcome to the very first episode of Beating Faces. My name is April. I do not like that introduction at all, because that is not how I usually introduce myself. At all. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for some time, you already know I go by a different name. But because you are new, let me reintroduce myself. Hola, I'm the Brooklyn Wolf of Makeup. This is April, you heard. I do not know if I'm going to keep that intro anymore. We will cross that bridge when we get there because I don't know. But hi, I am on YouTube. You guys have been asking me to do a YouTube channel for some time and here it is. But to be honest, I did not think that this was going to be a YouTube channel that I would be doing. You know, I thought about doing YouTube for makeup.
Talking about makeup and doing makeup reviews and buying makeup and, makeup.
I love makeup, but I am a wrestling fan. Believe it or not, I am a wrestling fan. I have been doing makeup for 6 years, but I have been a wrestling fan since I was a child. But I was so on and off. I have missed out so much. I feel like I've just been catching up for the longest. I got back into wrestling 3 years ago, and I feel I have discovered so many new worlds, so many friggin' promotions, so many new wrestlers, just so much. And I feel like I have just been on the road of catching up on everything, and I am just loving it. I'm loving everything. But yes, I have created this channel to not only talk about makeup and do my makeup, but I want to talk about wrestling. I'm not quite sure if I want to review promotions. I don't know if I want to make this a strictly WWE channel or AEW channel or NXT channel. I am all wrestling. I am hashtag team wrestling, and I just want to talk about it. And there's nothing wrong with talking about wrestling, but here's the catch. I will be doing my makeup, and it's going to be very, very interesting. So let's get started. I do want to talk about myself a little bit. I'm going to speed up a couple of some processes because you guys know, the majority of you wrestling fans are men, and you are aware that it does take a woman to do her makeup for a long time. But I promise you, I am going to try to make this as easy and simple and as delicate for you guys as possible. But for you female wrestling fans out there who are possibly makeup fans, I will leave every single product that I will use in the description below. And while you're looking at that, subscribe. I do want to make more of these videos. I don't know where I'm going to go along with it, but I know for a fact that I just want to talk about makeup. I want to talk about wrestling. I want to bring both worlds together because we can be one. We can be one. But yeah, so let's get started. I'm not going to do the typical, okay, so this is what I'm going to do for my brows. This is what I'm going to do for my eyeshadow. I'm not going to do all that. Like I said, I'm going to leave every single product down below. If you do want some makeup videos, ladies, let me know. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow me on social media, and who knows, we can probably get more makeup stuff. Oh, by the way, I am wearing a Finn Balor shirt. He is a husband. Love Finn Balor. He is amazing. But I guess I do want to talk about myself a little bit. I'm not going to get too much into it because I do want to talk about some wrestling. Now, like I said, I have been a wrestling fan for since I was a child, but I have gotten more in depth into it about 3 years ago. I do watch WWE, I do watch NXT, and I'm smiling a little too hard right now because I really, really love AEW. Do not come at me. Do not come at me. Please do not come at me because I already know the drama, the whole AEW versus WWE nonsense. Guys, cut it out. It's just wrestling. It's just wrestling. Come on. Everyone does it. Everyone likes it. There are like hundreds and hundreds of promotions out there to watch. So I do not understand why everybody can be like, oh, I'm team NXT, team WWE, team AEW. Why can't we all just like wrestling? I mean, I have an AEW sweater, but I always wear a WWE shirt under there because I already know how people are. But just to talk about myself a little bit, like I said, I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid. got more into it for the past 3 years. I was on a podcast for a little bit called Yep, I Like Wrestling. If you guys are subscribed, really good listen. I was with them for, I want to say for about a year or so. Yeah, I want to say for about a year with them. And a little after that, if you guys are on the Yep, I Like Wrestling Facebook page, you can probably remember me as the Brooklyn Wolf of Makeup on Unpopular Review, or as I like used to say, the Unpopular Review powered by Yep, I Like Wrestling. If you guys are not on the Yep, I Like Wrestling page, you guys should really check it out. It's always fun stuff to talk about with wrestling. And for Unpopular Review, it is a wrestling review show. And Unpopular Review reviews everything. It reviews NXT. It reviews AEW, which, by the way, I had to fight to put AEW on there. I'm not gonna lie, when I first got on there, it was mostly for WWE, which I get it. It's the main promotion that is on TV, that is everywhere. So it was strictly WWE stuff, but when AEW came about, I knew that I wanted to talk about it. Now, you guys can come at me. Don't, like I said, don't come at me because, I say AEW with more excitement. I mean, I can't help it. I love the promotion, but like I said, don't come at me because at the end of the day, I am a hashtag team wrestling fan. I love wrestling. But this past month and a half has been so weird. So many promotions had canceled their shows. We just had WrestleMania last week, which I'm not gonna lie, it was interesting. WrestleMania was very, very interesting. I know a lot of people weren't fans of it because it was at the Performance Center, because of the whole no audience thing, and I didn't hate it. I guess we could just talk about WrestleMania for a little bit. I didn't hate it. At first, I was not crazy about the whole 2 nights thing. Like, okay, everyone's like, oh, you're copying, New Japan for, Wrestle Kingdom, because they did 2 nights this year. I also love New Japan. I got into New Japan, I want to say about a year and a half ago. Amazing promotion. If you guys are not watching New Japan, I don't know what you're waiting for. Some of the best came from New Japan. And I'm not going to name a list of names because you already know who came from New Japan. But anyways, everyone's barking about the whole, oh, they're copying New Japan, because I get it. At first, I was just like, I don't know if I want to watch 2 days of WrestleMania. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, this year was the first year that I did see Wrestle Kingdom. I wasn't aware that it was a 1-night show that was so friggin' long with so many matches, because they have so many matches. So this was the first year that they did 2 nights. And I honestly was not ready for it. I thought I was ready for it, but I was not ready for it at all. I mean, so many title matches, but the show was great. So I can understand why people were like, Mare, let's just make Mania 2 nights. Because if we all remember Mania last year, if I can remember correctly, I think Mania started at, I want to say 3 and ended at midnight or something. I think it was at midnight because I remember I was like, I need to go to work. But no, one more match and then another one and then another one and another one. Mania was crazy last year, and I was just like, I do not know if I want to watch Mania this year. I wasn't crazy about the card, but Drew McIntyre was my guy. He needed the win. It was a lot. It was a lot, but you know what? I'm not going to be that person that was just like, oh, Mania was horrible, blasey, blasey, blasey. I thought it was good for what it was. I mean, I was just like, okay, we need to see if maybe we can try to push it back, because Mania is the friggin' Super Bowl of wrestling, and especially there were so many shows going on. I had just got into indie wrestling, I want to say about about a year ago. Let's say about a year ago, and I've been watching more promotions. So to see all of the shows that were going to go on during Mania Week, I was so excited. You know, I was ready to see ICW with No Holds Barred Volume 3. I think Joey Janela was supposed to have a party. Whatchamacallit, I think the Bullet Club was supposed to have a pool party, and Joey Ryan was supposed to have a penis party. I was so excited to see all of these shows, but the virus, it got real, people. It got real. And unfortunately, everything had to be canceled, which sucked, by the way, because I was supposed to go to 2 indie shows last month. I had it on my whiteboard. I was so excited. I was ready to see some wrestling. But no, because of everything that was going on, they had to cancel it. And it sucked. It really, really sucked. But what can you do? I mean, at least we still have wrestling going on, and the no audience thing, it's growing on me. Now, the no audience thing. I just laugh because, you know, us wrestling fans, we are so fickle with everything wrestling. And I've been trying to figure that out for some time. Why are we so defensive when it comes to wrestling? Why one promotion is better than the other? Just why? Why is there so much negativity? Why is there so much anger? And it took me a while to figure it out. And I get it. You know, you mention wrestling to somebody and they're like, "Oh, you watch wrestling? Who still watches wrestling?" I was a kid when I was watching wrestling. You're a grown woman. Why are you watching wrestling? Because I love it. You know, this is I don't want to say it's a sport. It's sports entertainment. But if you do want to think about other promotions like New Japan, they do look at wrestling as a pro sport, because wrestling is a pro sport. But what we watch is, I guess, theater. It's theater. You know, we already know that the matches are predetermined. We already know that it's to get choreographed and all that good stuff, blasey, blasey, blasey. But there's just something about it that I love it. And every single person has a reason as to why they love wrestling. I love wrestling because I will not step foot in a damn ring and do the things that these people do. I mean, it's just a lot. I just say it's a lot. So please get used to it. But I can't really describe why I love wrestling. You know, people ask me all the time, why do you still watch wrestling? And I just find it to be so entertaining, and anyone who steps in that ring automatically has my full respect, because I can't do it. I can't do the ropes. I felt how hard those ropes were. I was at a IWA show not too long ago, and myself and a friend of mine were able to go into the ring. She also has a podcast doing interviews, and to get in the ring was so hard. It was so hard to get into the ring, and then to feel the mats, to feel how stiff it was. And I'm just like, why do you do this? But I get it. I get it. It's something fun, but like I said, I have nothing but respect for anybody who steps foot in that ring and does what they do, whether it's strong style, or if they're a high flyer, or if they're a spot monkey, whatever, you know. But it's entertainment, it's storytelling, and that's one of the main things why I love about wrestling, and what I look into wrestling is the storytelling. You know, every single thing has a story into it, and I love story build-ups, and yeah, that's just what it is. I'm so sorry. I'm like going in and out. I don't really talk about things while I'm doing my makeup. Usually I'm just very quiet. And I'm like, okay, no one talk to me. I'm doing my makeup. Leave me alone. But like I said, this is something new, and we are going to go along with it. But yeah, so WrestleMania, like I said, I didn't hate it. I wasn't going to watch it because it's just, I don't know, and I do not want to sound, like I said, don't come at me. I do not want to be that person who just wants to talk shit about WWE, WWE, blasey, blasey, blasey. Now, one thing that I think that we all can agree on is that last year, 2019, was a very interesting year for WWE. And I'm saying interesting in the nicest way possible because I feel like I was just losing it. I got back into wrestling, I want to say late 2017, early 2018. And I was just picking up what I left off. You know, I was just going on there like, okay, is John Cena still a thing? Is Seth Rollins still a thing? Is Dean Ambrose still a thing? Which, by the way, I'm a huge John Moxley fan, and I was a really big fan of Dean Ambrose. Like I said, don't come at me. But I was just asking, like, is this still going on? Who's still on the roster? And it just wasn't clicking for me. And around at this time, a lot of people who I spoke to, they mostly watched WWE. So all we really did was complain and complain and complain. And you get tired of complaining all the time. And it's so, so frustrating. So I just watched and I complained. And it was very, very annoying. When I was on Unpopular Review, which was another show, all I did was complain. You know, I even had a little segment where I called it Rant of the Week, and every time I would go on the show, I would just rant about what I'm watching. And I got tired of it. And it's like, why can't I watch good wrestling? Yeah, we have the network. Go on the network, watch some old matches and enjoy it, but there's gotta be some other wrestling going on. So early 2018, it's all WWE stuff. At that time, I did not know about other promotions. Just to be clear, when I was growing up watching wrestling, I did not think about other promotions. Like, I knew about WCW, I knew about ECW, I knew about TNA, but the people that I surrounded myself with, they were strictly WWE because I know that was mostly the conversation. I've heard about Ring of Honor, I've heard about New Japan, and a lot of the little stuff, little stuff. But I wasn't really introduced to the indies until last year for All In. Now, before I joined the Yup, I Like Wrestling podcast, I went to my first show. I went to my first viewing party at that, and it was All In. And you guys are familiar with All In. It was the very first biggest indie promotion ever that was created by the Young Bucks, Cody. And I know Kenny and Marty had their feet into it. And when I first saw that pay-per-view, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Is this wrestling? This is wrestling. And I was very excited to see a lot of faces that I knew because I didn't follow the indies. I didn't know if Cody Rhodes was still wrestling. I thought at that point that Chris Jericho had retired. So when I saw that pay-per-view, it was fun, you know, to see Chris Jericho attack Kenny Omega. By the way, I knew about Kenny Omega. I knew about the Young Bucks from before then, but I really didn't get in depth into it until I saw All In. So to see that, and it's like, oh my God, Cody's still wrestling? And then to see all these new faces like Kota Ibushi and Marty Scurll, and then friggin' Rey Mysterio at the last match. I was like, Rey Mysterio still wrestling? How old is this guy? You know, and it was just something that I was like, oh my God, I need to know more. I need to know more. Now, I am focusing on my eyes a little too much right now, so it's going to take a minute and I will be back.
2 hours later.
I really did feel like it was 2 hours, and I completely went all 2009 Amy Winehouse with this liner. Shit, I should put on some lashes, but my friggin' allergies are acting up right now. My eyes will not tolerate that. But no more makeup talk. No, we're gonna have some more makeup talk. We're back to wrestling. That's what I was saying. I completely forgot what I was talking about. I think I was talking about All In. So when I saw All In, and I thought it was honestly the greatest show I've ever seen in my life, I needed to know who these people were, and I wanted to get more into it. But around that time, I was just like, I was still watching WWE, and then I was just like, I don't know. But it felt good to see other promotions that was outside of WWE. So a little bit after I saw All In, I did join the Yup, I Like Wrestling podcast. Really great podcast, like I said before. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you guys do. It's very fun. And if you guys haven't checked out the Unpopular Review on Facebook and YouTube, check it out. They talk about a little bit of everything. But yeah, around that time, I was just getting more into, independent wrestling. I was learning a lot about, other, brands, and I started going to House of Glory, which it is located in New York, in Queens. Went to my first HOG show. I think it was that same weekend, and I thought it was amazing. After that, I needed to know more indie wrestling. So and a little bit after that, I just started watching a little bit more independent wrestling on YouTube, started discovering who Kenny Omega was, the Young Bucks were, Marty Scurll, Bullet Club, all that good stuff, because, Too Sweet for Life, all day, every day. Hello, Finn Balor, hello. But yeah, so I just getting more and more into it once AEW was announced, and I gotta say I was hooked. I was saying before, WWE was just so, it was making me sad, because I was one of those people, I'm not gonna lie, they were like, oh, let's bring back the Attitude Era, let's bring it back. We all knew that the Attitude Era was one of the best, but then of course we got this new show on the network, Ruthless Aggression, which a lot of people forgot about that era. Now, I wasn't really watching too much wrestling around that time because I completely forgot that Brock Lesnar was a thing back then. Bobby Lashley was a thing back then. And, that's when John Cena started. And I was watching the show not too long ago, and I was just like, wow, I completely forgot that this era was fucking amazing. When Randy Orton was starting out and Batista, who are some of my faves and everything. But I don't know, it was just a weird time for WWE. So to see now that we're getting more wrestling in, it's been a fun journey. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, I am a huge Jon Moxley fan. I love Jon Moxley. I was a big fan of his when he was in CDW. I was a huge fan of his when he was Dean Ambrose. I am a huge Shield mark, always and forever. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, all that. Like I said, I do not talk about stuff while I'm doing makeup, so please do not judge me and everything that I'm doing. But yeah, so I was following his journey when he was going to AEW. When he left WWE, I was so excited because I'm like, yeah, bro. I think he was one of the first wrestlers that when I got back into WWE that I was just like, okay, you gotta go. This isn't working. You deserve better. And I did not care where he was gonna go. But when he popped up at Double or Nothing, your girl at Jack Dempsey's bar, if you guys are in the New York area and you know where Jack Dempsey's is, you need to go. If you don't, really fun bar. Yep, I Like Wrestling is always having viewing parties there, so go right ahead. Well, not now, because, the Corona, the COVID-19 drama. But when all this is gone and they have more viewing parties, definitely go. It's really fun. Very fun. So when I saw him pop out, your girl lost her shit. I was like, that's it. I am all in with AEW. All in. I was all in with AEW after that. But AEW opened up a lot of, different promotions for me. And it really got me more into the indies. So as soon as they started signing people, I wanted to know who was who, where were they coming from, what promotions they were on. So I literally spent the whole year of 2019 just researching almost every single person that they had signed. And I have not looked back ever since. I know I'm going really hard on the AEW talk, but it has been a promotion that I've really been enjoying for some time. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I've been enjoying since, day one. I mean, hello. But yeah, it's just a great promotion. I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for it because of you WWE marks and but like I said, I am team wrestling. Now, I know I've been going all over the place because I first started talking about WrestleMania with this whole no audience thing. Now, let's talk about this no audience thing. It has been very interesting. The conversations with the whole no audience thing has been interesting. I still don't know how I feel about it. Now, WWE was the first ones to do it, and it was weird. And I wasn't a fan of it because of the way they were doing it with the whole, okay, we're going to show a match, and then we're going to show a pay-per-view. Then we're going to show a pay-per-view match. And then I'm just like, okay, I guess you guys need something to do. I mean, considering how I think at that time it was, I think it was the companies were basically telling the wrestlers, listen, if you don't want to wrestle, don't wrestle. So I get it. You know, no one wants to go outside, especially wrestling. You know, wrestling, you're so close into the ring together. So anything can happen. And I get it, but it was just getting me so mad because I'm like, why are you showing old matches from this past Elimination Chamber, from this past SummerSlam? I mean, we are in WrestleMania season, and also in this friggin' time, we weren't even sure if we were gonna have Mania. You know, we were all cracking jokes that they're going to do Mania in the Performance Center. It's the only spot that they can do it, which they did do it at the Performance Center. Like I said, it wasn't a terrible show. I didn't hate it. There were a lot of great spots, a lot of great matches, and a lot of segments that I really enjoyed. But the whole no audience thing at first was annoying me. Now, I'm going to go back onto my AEW talk. When they first did the no audience thing, they were smart to do the whole, we're going to have wrestlers in the audience. Now, once they did that, I started to feel a little better. Like, okay, now there's cheers. We're getting stuff, and we're getting a lot of fun sub-segments with it. They were making it fun. You know, Tony Khan, he has the, he owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, so they were having it at the stadium. Now, at the moment, I don't know where they're doing it because I think Florida is in a complete lockdown or something. I think Florida's like locked down, so now they're they're at parts unknown from where we at. They're probably still somewhere in Florida. Who knows? But the way they were doing it was, okay, WWE is doing the no audience thing, showing old matches, showing promos. Now, don't get me wrong, the promos that were going on, really, really good shit, as you know, Vince would like to say. So I was giving them that, and I get it. We're still getting the hype for WrestleMania weekend. We need something. Promos were great. Check out the AEW. They got the wrestlers in the audience, and I loved that. At first, you know, it was making me feel like this was my own personal AEW show. And, you know, they were just doing what they can. And all these promotions, especially these big promotions, they're doing what they can. And I get it. I completely get it. But it's just a weird time. It's just a very weird time. And us wrestling fans, we are very, 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 very fickle with everything. That's just anything wrestling. And I don't know, but I have been enjoying it. I have been catching up on Raw and SmackDown for the past, you know, couple of weeks. And yeah. Oh, and also I love NXT. Also with NXT as well. Now, I'm not going to front. I haven't been watching NXT. I watched it this week. Io Shirai, #1 contender for the title, which I still don't know how I feel about the whole Charlotte, Rhea. That whole thing was weird as well because, you know, we never really had the NXT title defended at WrestleMania, which was great, you know, something new and different. And I love Rhea Ripley. I am a fan of Charlotte Flair. For her to go after the title was, you know, I wasn't a fan of it, but, you know, I guess it's good, you know, more exposure for the company. You know, Charlotte, I think she's 10-time women's champ. 11 if you count the 2-time NXT women's champ. I don't know. Let's say 10. Let's just say that she's 10 for now until I do my research. But yeah, let's say she's 10. To bring more exposure to NXT, I guess that's what it was. I know before they were saying after Mania they were going to start doing more travel shows, and a lot of people were complaining about that because they're not going to think that they're going to get the audience for it. You know, the Performance Center, they really do their thing. I went to Florida for Valentine's Day. I treated myself to go to Florida. I haven't been on a vacation in so long, and I wanted to go and see NXT live at Full Sail.